Well, hello everyone, and welcome to today's video. As ever, I hope you're having a good day. I hope you've had the opportunity to enjoy some more of the lovely sunshine. As you can see, that's brought me out into the garden for today's video. The sun has gone in a little bit, but it's still nice and warm. And something else that I can tell you about is there's a lovely smell of barbecues happening and a bit of music playing just round the corner. So I think there's a merry barbecue going on, which is lovely. I hope they're having a super time. But anyway, this week we've been blessed because we've been able to celebrate two of the saints. On Thursday, we remembered St. George, and today the church celebrates the life of St. Mark, who of course is widely recognised as being an author of one of the Gospels, specifically the second Gospel that we find in the New Testament. Mark was also known as Mark the Evangelist because he was out and about with Paul and the early church, evangelizing and sharing the good news, the gospel news of salvation through Jesus Christ. So I thought today we would have a reading from Mark's Gospel and then a short reflection. So Mark chapter 8, beginning at verse 11. The Pharisees came and began to argue with Jesus, asking him for a sign from heaven to test him. And he sighed deeply in his spirit and said, "Why does this generation ask for a sign? Truly I tell you, no sign will be given to this generation." And he left them, and getting into the boat again, he went across to the other side. Now the disciples had forgotten to bring any bread, and they had only one loaf with them in the boat. And he cautioned them, saying, "Watch out, beware of the yeast of the Pharisees and the yeast of Herod." They said to one another, "It is because we have no bread." And becoming aware of it, Jesus said to them, "Why are you talking about having no bread? Do you still not perceive or understand? Are your hearts hardened? Do you have eyes and fail to see? Do you have ears and fail to hear? And do you not remember when I broke the 5 loaves for the 5,000? How many baskets full of broken pieces did you collect?" They said to him, 12. "And the 7 for the 4,000? How many baskets full of broken pieces did you collect?" And they said to him, 7. Then he said to them, "Do you not yet understand?" This is the gospel of the Lord. Praise to you, O Christ. I think Mark, in more than any other gospel, he focuses quite a lot on the disciples and the journey that they have with Christ, in that they are undergoing a journey of learning and understanding. And I think that can tie in to our own lives, can't it, as we follow Christ? It's a constant journey where we discover more of Jesus and what it means to follow him. And we need to guard what Jesus teaches us in our hearts and our minds. Jesus in particular speaks in the passage about the leaven of the Pharisees, how their teaching might distort and reduce the perception of the true power of Jesus and his gospel. And here we have this passage as they cross the lake. The disciples' focus is on the apparent shortage of bread in the boat. And it's very relevant that this episode takes place immediately after the feeding of the 4,000. Yet despite this, they fail to recognise that what has just happened might help them understand that having just one loaf shouldn't be a problem. And Jesus twice asks them, "Do you not yet understand?" The invitation for us in this passage is to remember and consider those times in life when we felt Jesus really working, really blessing us, really providing for us in his generosity. And Jesus is encouraging us to use those memories, to protect our hearts and minds with them, to remember how Jesus blesses us and loves us, to let that love rule our hearts and heads over anything else. Jesus asks that question to the disciples and to us. Do you not yet understand? Yet being an operative word for those times when we fear, for those times where we feel that our faith falls short. It's comforting to know that Jesus says that. Do you not yet understand? Because it indicates Jesus doesn't abandon us in our fears and doubts. He continues to journey with us, teaching and helping us to increase our understanding of just how much he is with us, how much he will provide for us, and how much he loves us. Amen. Amen. So there we are. Hope that is a helpful passage and reflection for you today, and I hope that you have a peaceful rest of the day. I'll be posting the weekly Eucharist service for you to look at tomorrow morning. Also, I thought we would start something that I've quite enjoyed in the past, this little book. I thought I would start doing this next week. It's a book called The Words of Christ, and it's by Frank Topping, and it's a series of prayers and reflections based around Bible verses. As I say, I've used it in the past and I've found it really good, so I thought we would use some of that, if that's okay with you. Wonderful. So, as I say, enjoy the rest of your day, and I'll speak to you soon. Bye.